Hey, how's it going? I'm back. I know you missed me. I hope you're doing just as good as I'm doing tonight, because wow. Today is a weird day. I don't know how long the video is going to be because I don't know how much I was able to record, but I was in there for unironically 25 minutes. Apparently, on New Year's Eve, people want to relax, so they close the gym at 6 p.m. when it's called 24-hour fitness, which I think is a little actually insane, because that's when people are trying to get their resolutions in order, but whatever. You know, who am I to judge? But it was one of those kind of weird days where you just got to really make the most of it. And it's like the definition today of like really making the most of it, like really committing to the mindset of making do what you have. Because, you know, most people, I think you walk in the gym and they're like, oh, 25 minutes, you know, you got to leave. And they're like, oh, I'm just going to go the fuck home. I can get a workout in 25 minutes. That is some bullshit, you know? I would maybe agree with you if they said 5 minutes, because that's about as much time as you got to do warm-up sets. But regardless, it's something. So even then, I would say, fuck it, do some warm-up sets. If that's whatever, like, they're going to allow you to do, you did something, so that's better than nothing. But I'm a little bit energized because of how funky today was. I'm going to get into it in a minute. But, you know, physically, I'll put it at a solid 8, you know. Nothing bad at all, nothing too crazy. You know, it's my first time doing Olympic in, like 8.5 days. So my body is reasonably questioning what I'm doing to it, because you gotta condition those joints and ligaments again. But I mean, honestly, like 185 moved really easy on snatch. I missed one because I was kind of rushing. I did my snatches in 10 minutes and my clean and jerks in 15. But you know, I worked up to about 80%. No, so about 75% on both, which I'm pretty happy with. I got the 185 on snatch, felt great. You know, on the one that I made, 245 on clean and jerk also felt great. The jerks were really feeling good, which is kind of surprising, because normally, you know, you do all your snatches and your core's questioning what the fuck you're doing to it, and then you're like, oh well, time to clean and jerk, and your shoulders feel stiff when you're pushing that shit overhead. But you know, it's the mindset, you know. I went in and I was like, fuck it, 25 minutes. I got 10 minutes for snatch. I'm going to get to whatever I feel is a good deload weight. I was a little lucky that today was a deload day. I wanted to bench and squat, but it is what it is. You know, I got what I could. But I was like, all right, how am I going to make it possible to where I can do enough snatches to where I feel good to jump back on the program? And same thing for clean and jerks, because at least those, like, they're both full body lifts. If those feel fine, then bench and squat will be all right. You know, I'm not even worried about it, because you're already doing squat mobility and positions and muscle movements and these kinds of ollie lifts. And, you know, the bench is obviously different, but again, if my ollie lifts feel good, my bench I am the least worried about. So mentally, we're going to put it at a 9, because you know what? These really weird days are sometimes the most enlightening, you know? Even if they, like, drag you through the mud and you feel like shit, they really do show you what you're capable of, or what you should be capable of. Because again, a lot of people go in, underestimate themselves when they're limited on what they can do, and they'll just kind of throw in the towel early. And I was like, nope, full effort. I was lifting every 30 seconds, you know, just like I was like re-racking, unracking those weights, going as fast as I could, doing the reps as fast as I could. And we made it, you know. Even the gym workers saw me moving as hard as I could, and they were like, you know, we fucking appreciate that hustle. You keep going and finish up, you know, so you can stay a minute or two late. And I was like, awesome. So anyway, to get to the main points, because I have gone on a tangent long enough, I apologize for that. My little brother, while I was out of town, because I mentioned I was in Colorado for a week, stuck on the side of a mountain, so I couldn't lift anything out there. But, you know, skiing's a full body kind of movement anyway, so at least physically I feel great, if not mentally. But anyway, little brother mentioned something to me and my older brother, and it was really cool to hear, because like I 100% agreed. Is what I want to talk about, is that life itself is a mindset. Now people are going to be like, what the fuck does that mean? Because it's very overgeneralizing when I say it like that. But I feel like that's also kind of the point, you know. I feel like once you've either gone through something and really gotten over to overcome it, or even better if you've lived a life where you haven't had to overcome stuff like that, which is, super duper rare. But if you've lived a really awesome life and haven't had to worry about overcoming stuff, and you still have the mindset of life as a mindset, be proud. It's very rare that you can have a life as carefree, I guess you could say. Not in a bad way. A lot of people will be like, oh, you gotta work hard for that shit. It's like, whatever. Do you? If you got that mindset and you had a great, happy life and you had no issues, whatever, fucking appreciate it. It's great. But my main point to all this is there are too many people, like how I mentioned today, my example with people wanting to ditch out if they feel limited on what they can do. There are too many people that do not realize that they can turn their lives around right now. like whoever's watching right now, if you're listening, it's right now. If you feel like shit and feel like you're fucking up, you can literally flip right now. It is as simple as that in words, but of course it is never that easy. It's always going to be super, super hard. And it's a matter of trial and error of really understanding what you have to go through and what you need to learn to comprehend in your daily life to appreciate and obtain that kind of mindset where you can just say, oh, whatever. I'm going to do my best. Doesn't matter. Like, if anything's fucking up, I got this. I'm putting my 100% and I'm going to be happy with it. Try not to lose my train of thought while I'm going on a tangent. But I'm not trying to overwhelm any of you. We're going to have a little nice chat. But I think what I like to really emphasize is that if you feel like you are in that shit of a position where you think that you're, it's over, or there's not a lot left of growth for you to have in your life or in your daily life or whatever things you're trying to do, if they're not working, I think it's so important to understand that even though it comes naturally to us, it is ignored sometimes how important your life at the most basic definition is. The only main actual 100% like first top priority you should always have over everything, no matter how shitty you feel or how fucked up you think your life is your life itself. Like, it's not the things you do in that life per se, but the first thing that you always have to prioritize is the fact that you are alive. I know it seems so crazy to think that people don't think that way sometimes, but I think so many people underestimate or underwhelm, whatever, just they don't put the fact that they're alive that high on a level of importance in their head. Because again, it comes to us naturally. It's something that you don't have to think about. It's just given to you and you're like, oh, okay, whatever, it's always going to be there. Cool. But the sad truth is it's not always going to be there, and it can be taken away so fast. Even if it's not you, anybody surrounding you can just, in a snap of a fucking finger, gone. And so what's so important to take hold of in your life is the fact that you can breathe, that you can move, that you can cognitively think and analyze like a human. Like, we are the most advanced species known to anything right now. And so many people are just like throwing that shit to the curb because we were given that kind of a capability at birth. But whenever I'm going through my worst, or my family or my friends, or if anything's going wrong, you feel like you're getting outplayed or treated unfairly, and you're just like, man, this is it. I'm peaking. I hate it when people say they peak in high school. Nobody ever actually peaks. It is crazy to me that people always say, well, this time in my life was so great, so I peaked. It is a mindset. It is literally as simple as that. And so I'm not saying that it's not going to be hard. You're always going to have to go through shit and really learn to understand yourself on a personal level in order to appreciate that daily life. But once you really start to get that sort of gratefulness for what you have and who you are and what you're doing, you will never peak. It's awesome. You know, you'll peak when you die. You know, as morbid as it sounds, it's not bad. People only peak because they allow themselves to peak. It's all mental. You know, people will sit there and be like, oh, I just literally said this 30 seconds ago, but they'll say that they peaked in this awesome part of their life where their career was boosting off, or they were the strongest, or they were the most ambitious, or the most inspired. And it's all your choice. You know, people don't just become unhappy. It's not just a thing that just happens randomly. Something happens, sure, that may induce unhappiness or unsatisfaction or unmotivation, but it's also your choice. Thankfully, you know, it is typically never your choice to feel those negative emotions that happen in your life, but it is such again, I'm not religious or anything, but it's such a blessing. Truly, it is a miracle that we as cognitive human beings can choose to become happy when introduced to negative stimuli. And I'm oversimplifying a little bit. I could go on for years about the processes you could go through, but everybody's different. Whatever you go through, whatever you think that you have to do in order to become better it's going to be up to you. It's trial and error. You got to figure it out. And what's so important is that you have that support in your daily life along the way in order to lift yourself back up from that kind of shit. You know, it's the people who struggle the most typically have the least amount of support. You know, even if it seems like they got a perfect life with no issues and, you know, parents are together, they got a good relationship, whatever. People can be unhappy by anything, by any means. It's not just a matter of comparing situations. It is how you come back from the situations that hurt you the most. And so, just to kind of wrap it up, because, God, I feel like this whole video is going to sound like a tangent to you guys, but it's truly a mindset to be able to just flip your brain instantly and be like, this is limiting me, this is hurting me, this is making me unmotivated and unsatisfied with my life. Let's flip that right now. Because you can, I promise. Anybody can. It's just, it's a matter of taking that first step, getting that groove, you know, getting that support. But you got to drive it from within yourself first in order to be rewarded from the world and your life itself. You know, I truly feel that you will be rewarded for the efforts that you put into this life. You know, it's not just numbers. You know, you can't just get a good grade or make a lot of money and expect to be rewarded back personally for those good things that happen in your life. It's the effort that you put in yourself. Like every teacher told me growing up, I would rather see you get a D trying your absolute fucking hardest, breakneck, pushing it, most passion you've ever had, than seeing someone get 101 in the class without even trying. You know, again, some people are naturally gifted at whatever they may do, not just class or whatever. But that inspiration that you pull out of yourself and that drive to move on every day and continuously taking those first steps without fear, you know, just full confidence that you'll be okay because you're breathing, you're alive. That is what is so important, you know? So I may not have applied for that job yet, or I may not have studied for that test yet, or I may not have talked to that person yet, or I may not have asked that person out yet, but I'm doing great. You know, I've never been happier, and I can always pull myself back up. So I'm going to keep doing that, and all the other stuff is just extra icing on top of my cake. You know, I'm going to be happy no matter what on my own, and everything else will just boost me even higher. So it doesn't matter if you feel like you've missed out or you haven't done that thing yet. There's always time. And as long as you are happy yourself, you're chilling, you know? If you got to take your time a little bit, take your time a little bit. You'll get there. I promise. But you got to keep pushing and taking those first steps. So take it with a grain of salt. You know, it's all up to you on how you really want to interpret all this kind of stuff that I say. But I really only want people to to just grasp just any little thing I may have said and be like, damn, that makes sense, and that can maybe make a difference with how I feel about my life. And I might be able to do better just because of that one thing that flipped how I was viewing my life originally. So I didn't mean to get too serious. I've been gone for a week, so, you know, I have a lot to talk about. You'll be hearing from me a lot more, hopefully. Shouldn't be moving around for a while. But, you know, you got this. You know, keep going, stay passionate. Keep yourself moving. It's so important. So, you know, I at least believe in you. Whoever you are watching, I'll always respond if you want to comment. You know, we're always around. We got to have each other's backs. But take it with a grain of salt. Enjoy yourself. Like, truly. Like, sit down and think about it. And think about, did I enjoy myself just now? Or did I do it out of obligation because of how people expect me to act? And then move on from there. But regardless of that, your boys got so much chicken and rice. So we are going to be munching down on that. I ate like shit for a whole 8 days straight. So we got to get back into shape, feeling good, feeling healthy, and remaining passionate. So I guess that's all I got. You know, stay happy, stay positive. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.